This is Jennifer Clark Tinker for Life and Liberty with David Householder. My car blew a tire one summer when my son and I were on our way home from errands. I felt a thud, then my car began to shake. I maneuvered to a side road to pull over and check things out. When I got out of the car, it didn't take long to see that the driver's side rear tire was flat. Now, I want you to know, you have to know, this is important that you know, that I knew what to do. I knew how to change a tire. So I walked to the trunk and I got out the spare tire and got out the jack, got out everything I needed to be able to change the tire. And I'm doing my thing and I knew what to do, right? Okay, I knew how to change a tire. So I'm doing my thing. I'm getting everything I need. And now you have to know, my son was about 7 at the time. And it was a hot summer day. So he couldn't stay in the car because it was too hot for him to be in the hot car on a hot summer day. And so he was out and about with me, kind of walking around. And so I'm trying to manage him and I'm trying to manage the tire and all this situation. And so, but I'm handling it. I knew what to do. I could handle this. I could do this. And so I got the jack, I got the tire. And, the part where you change a tire and you're supposed to loosen the bolts first before you're supposed to loosen it first before you lift the tire off the ground. Because then otherwise the tire just spins as you're trying to loosen those if you put it in the air first. Well, I forgot that part. And so because I was so excited about using the jack, because, how often do you get to change a tire? It was actually kind of exhilarating to get to change a tire. And to prove my, feminine independence or something to be able to do this. I was pretty proud because my husband wasn't with me and my 7-year-old couldn't do it. And so it was me. It was all me. And I was kind of proud. And so I jacked up the car too soon. And I forgot about that part. And so I'm trying to loosen those bolts and another car drove up and they saw that here I was in distress and I was trying to change my tire and I was doing it wrong. And so there was a man and a woman in the car and the man says, "Oh, ma'am, do you need some help?" And I was like, "No, I got it. And he's like, and he saw me struggling trying to get the nuts off even though I had the tire spinning in the air. And he says, "If you let it down first." I'm like, "Yeah, I know. I remember that part after I started. Yes, I got it. I'm good. I got it." He's like, "Are you sure I can help you, man?" I was like, No, I got it. "Are you sure I can help?" No, I got it. And so he says, "Okay, well," he didn't seem quite convinced, but I asserted myself and said, "No, I've got this." And so he drove away and I continued and I totally got it. And I'm telling you, I know how to change a tire. I've done it before. I've changed a tire for my husband. Okay. I know how to change a tire. So I had it. I really had it. Okay. I knew what I was doing. And, it was a big deal that my dad taught me when I was a kid, when I was learning how to drive, that, you need to know how to change a tire because you don't have, kind of the feminine independence, you don't have to have a man do this for you. You can be able to do this. And so it was really, like I said, it was a source of pride to be able to do this myself. But meanwhile, my son's trying to figure out what to do with himself and he's tired and bored and just wants to go home and it's hot and it's hot and it's hot. And so we're trying to figure this out. But I had it under control. Well, then a state police officer pulled up right behind me and he had his lights on and he pulled up and he gets out and I just felt my whole exhilaration and here I was going to prove myself and it just sank. My heart sank when he pulled up because I knew I couldn't refuse his help because he's an officer. That's his job to help people. And so I knew that I knew I had to accept help. And sure enough, he came over and was checking out what's going on. And he says, "Ma'am, really, let me take care of this for you." And I was like, I've got it. He's like, "No, I'm sure you do. And he said it in a way that I wasn't sure that he was sure that I knew what to do. But he said, I'm sure you can. I said, I can change a tire, I promise. I'm sure you can, ma'am. But I can get you on the road faster. And here I was with my 7-year-old wandering around on a hot summer day. And I knew he was right. I could do it myself, but he could do it faster. And so I let him help me. I did have a choice, probably, but I chose to let him help me. And it wasn't easy, but I did it. And he was right. He got us on the road faster. And we were able to get home and get cooled off and feel better and recover from our day. But it was embarrassing to have help. Well, I didn't have to have help, but to end up having help for something that I totally had it. I could do this. And it was embarrassing to be the damsel in distress. In my deaconess training, as a Lutheran deaconess, one of the things we talk about a lot is we talk about the importance of service, of serving others. And it's a really cool thing because we talk about the image of Jesus washing his disciples' feet and the service that he offered in washing their feet. And so we think about our service to others as we're modeling what we do after what Jesus did for his disciples. And it's this important thing as part of our identity as a deaconess is that we are servants, that we serve other people. But one of the things that they talked to us about in my deaconess training is they talked to us about one special kind of service that's particularly difficult, and it's the service of receiving service. The idea is that sometimes the way you serve is by letting someone else serve you. And I have been challenged by that many times throughout my life, especially with that feminine independence, and I don't want to be the damsel in distress. It's been challenging to receive service from others at times, and that was one of those times that it was difficult to receive service. Sometimes we feel like we don't need it or we don't want it. But here was someone that was able to do something for me more quickly than I was able to do for myself. And ultimately, it was safer for him to do it, and I could tend to my son, and we could get on the road quicker. And so it was important to receive the service that he was offering. I think in the end, I needed it more than I wanted to admit. Living in harmony with others can be tricky as we try to find that right balance between giving and receiving loving service. It's not easy to admit when a little help is helpful. I still don't like feeling like I was the damsel in distress. But what I do know is I'd rather live in a world where people like that officer are looking out for my best interests. And that I'll receive any day.